together. And we have many of the leading founders, CEOs, and executives from across the border and across the world joining us here this week. To all of you who traveled far to get here, we appreciate that, and we're so glad that you're with us. I remember back in my previous career in capital markets, a major hedge fund manager once said to me that you cannot make a fully informed decision without hearing all sides of the debate, and that the quality of decision, regardless of outcome, is where value is found. It's on this premise that I've always believed that high-quality, substantive content that provides insight, authority, or novelty can lead to higher quality decisions, whether it's on that deal, or building a business, or writing code, or navigating the future. And that's exactly what we strive to bring here to the stages at Consensus. And I believe you'll find incredible amounts of value here this week. When we approached the agenda for Consensus, there were a couple of major themes that we felt that were worth leaning into. And so I kind of wanted to take a moment just to kind of walk through a couple of those things and highlight some of the speakers that you'll be seeing here this week. The first theme is crypto in the context of the macro environment. I think it's pretty extraordinary that just within the last 7 days, we're back into Bitcoin above $100,000. There's been major news and developments on the tariff front being made, and Canada also just completed the election. With that, we have a number of expert speakers lined up to talk through and give their insights as to what's going on in the macro environment, including Kevin O'Leary, Anthony Scaramucci from Skybridge Capital, Dan Moorhead from Pantera, Dan Tapiero from 10T, Tom Lee from FS Insights, and also tomorrow Dave Portnoy, just to name a few that are going to be here. The second theme was what I would refer to as tailwinds from the top. When I reflect on the different chapters of our industry, the best way to describe the first chapter when you think about the adoption story is that it was a bottoms-up, grassroots, peer-to-peer led adoption story. But in recent years, what we found is that the second chapter started, where we've getting these tailwinds coming from the top, primarily expressed as public government support, as well as regulatory clarity. Most notably, in the last couple of months, has been the major shift in the US government on their stance towards crypto. And with that, later today, we've got Bill Hines, Executive Director at the Presidential Council of Advisors for Digital Assets at the White House, speaking together also with US Congressman French Hill. And on the regulatory front, we'll be hearing from both sides of the border as we have the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization, Ontario Securities Commission, and New York Department of Financial Services taking the stage this week. The third theme is major industry developments. And Consensus, we want to make sure that you're on top of some of the major newsworthy and market-shaping events that are happening. A couple of weeks ago, you probably heard that Cantor Fitzgerald made waves with the announcement on the partnership with Tether and SoftBank Group on the launch of 21 Capital. And with that, we've got the chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, Brandon Lutnick, taking the stage this afternoon. Earlier this week, just on Monday, American Bitcoin announced that they are going public on the NASDAQ through an all-stock merger with Griffin Digital Mining. And with that, we've got Eric Trump and Asher Ginut, co-founders of American Bitcoin, speaking tomorrow for the first time since the announcement was made. And then also, as you probably saw yesterday, Robinhood announced the acquisition of WonderFi, of which we've got both Johan Kerbrat, crypto GM of Robinhood, as well as Dean Skirka, CEO of WonderFi, taking the stage later this week. I think it's pretty cool that all of these things happened all within the week that Consensus is starting. The fourth theme is use cases of blockchain.
Precisa colocar seu negócio online? Com as ferramentas da GoDaddy é fácil e rápido. E ainda
stands on its own. Much of the traction that we've been seeing has been on the financial application side. And I can tell you that when we look through what audiences and what people here at the conference are interested in, stablecoins takes it at the top. And we've got a lot of speakers this week talking about it. We've got folks from Ripple, PayPal, Stripe, BitGo, and many others talking about it, as well as Zach Folkman and Zach Witkoff, co-founders of World Liberty Financial, who recently launched the USD1 stablecoin, speaking on Friday. Outside of the financial applications, I really do think that We're still seeing experimental kind of proof of concepts going forward, but the conversation around digital property rights, amongst other things, is one thing that we see some traction taking over. And tomorrow we've got Yatsu, founder chairman of Animoca, taking the stage. And also later today, for all of us Canadians who are fans, including myself, we have the lead singer of Our Lady Peace, Rain Maida, taking the stage to talk through his journey of what Web3 has meant to his company at Fandrop. The fifth theme is what I refer to as the trajectory of tech innovation. One of the things that's incredible about this space, I'd say, is the continuous innovation that we'd see around protocols, around the technology that fills this particular ecosystem. We brought in some of the most notable founders of ecosystems, including Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, Sergey Nazarov from Chainlink, Sunny Liu from VeChain, John Wu, president of Ava Labs, to join us. And we've also got a stage today referred to as Protocol Village, where we've got sessions dedicated to each ecosystem to give updates of what's happening there in their ecosystem. We've also got a hackathon, as I mentioned, that's hosted with our partners at EZA in parallel to the conference. And starting tomorrow, we'll have the CoinDesk Pitch Fest, where we hear startups talking about the latest things that they're developing in hopes of being able to win the prize. The final theme I'll just highlight is AI and blockchain. I think these are probably the two most important technological themes of our generation. And for the most part, they've been running on parallel tracks, and a lot of the conversation has been somewhat siloed. But I do think that we're starting to see the convergence of these two things, and staying on top of that, I think, is of critical importance, because if they are independently two of the most important themes in our generation for technology, the convergence of that will also be significant. And with that being said, we have an AI summit on Friday where we've got a stacked lineup of people speaking on this and talking about where these two themes are converging, of which we've got a number of people that were worth highlighting, including Dr. Lehman Baird, co-founder of Hedera, Shaw Walters, founder of Eliza Labs, as well as David Goyer, who co-wrote the Dark Knight movie, where there's going to be a discussion to talk about how creators are using AI and Web3 to unlock creativity and retain their IP, amongst other things. This is going to be an amazing week, and I can't wait for it to get started and for all of you to be able to experience that what we've got planned for you. With that, I also like to thank our sponsors, especially our 5-block sponsors, Stellar, 4-block sponsors, BitGo, FastX, SpaceCoin, and American Bitcoin, and long-term sponsors, Grayscale, Rootstock, Waxman, and Circle, for your partnership in supporting Consensus. And one final thing. I'm also excited to announce this morning that in 2026, Consensus will be returning to Hong Kong from February 10 to 12 at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. Only this time, we'll be taking on the largest hall in the venue. With our inaugural Consensus Hong Kong earlier this year selling out at nearly 10,000 attendees, with over 75% attending from outside the city, over 350 side events, and over 300 speakers, we're so excited to be going back. In addition to that, we recently announced that Consensus is also going to Miami next year, a major crypto hub, and a unique gateway that's going to connect both the North and South American ecosystems together. I'm so pumped for 2026. It's going to be amazing. Consensus Hong Kong, Consensus Miami. Ticket sales go live today. Please go and sign up. It's going to be absolutely huge. I hope you have an amazing week with us, that it's going to be incredibly insightful, value-adding, and I look forward to seeing you around. Thank you.